And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
Good afternoon, class.
I'm glad to present before you Geography Grade 9 once again. And the topic is the same. We are dealing with the industries. And today we shall continue from where we ended the last time that we did conduct geography lesson. Allow me to just go through a bit on what I said on the introduction part of this lesson. I said an industry is defined as any activity that man does in order to earn a living. Apart from that, I also categorized certain parts of industries so that we understand better on what we are still doing. I said we have got what we call primary industries. Now, primary industry is the one which is responsible for extracting or for getting raw materials from the earth. And some examples that I gave there, I talked about fishing industry as one of the examples that I gave. I went on further to say we have got also secondary industry. Now, secondary industry, I said it is an industry which converts raw materials into finished goods or products. And from that, apart from that, I also said we have got other industries which are called tertiary or service industries. Now, what are these industries? Or in plural form, in singular form, a tertiary industry is simply an industry which renders a service to the people in the communities. And I gave some examples. These are practical examples. Banking, I talked about the press or the media. I also talked about bakery, if you may like. There could be more than this, even transport falls under that. Now, today, I want us to talk about the factors which affect the location of the manufacturing industries. So this is what we're going to center our focus on. This is Geography Grade 9. Please pay much attention in order to understand better. Geography Grade 9. All right? So now, we are going to do this. Geography 9. We shall talk about factors. All right? Factors affecting all right, location of manufacturing industries. All right. Please pay much attention because it's important that you understand this before we come to minerals when we talk about mines now. When we start dealing with a particular or precise industries. Okay. I will talk about certain things which are very cardinal when it comes to manufacturing industries. Now, what are these factors which we refer to as the ones responsible or which affect the location of the industries? Number one is this one. flat land, all right, or the flat surface of the land. Now, why should the land be flat? All right, flat land. Why should the land be flat? I have to use big font so that you can see. We should have flat land, all right? We should have flat land in order to install machineries properly. Are you with me? The land must be very flat in order to install the machinery as well as the expansion. Okay? So I'll say for installation. All right? The land must be flat for installation of machinery there and expansion purposes. I'll simply do this, the symbol for and, so expansion. Okay. So now, I'll do this, I'll finish my word expansion here. Okay. This is factor number 1. Factor number 2, the other factor which also affects the location of the industries, which we are referring to as manufacturing industries here, is the availability of water. Now, why is this the matter, or why does this also affect the location of industries called manufacturing industries? You know, when water is available, it is very easy for cooling purposes to be done without problems. So I'll simply say availability of water for cooling. All right? So water must be available. Where water is available, then the location of the industry is easily or is possible to be made. Availability, all right, of water. All right, availability of water for cooling. Like this. Please follow me, because if you don't, it will be difficult for the understanding to be made. Follow even the notes I am writing before you. Today we are just doing this one so that the next time we go to certain things or to another stage. Number 3, the presence of good network is also a vital factor which should affect the location of the land. Where there is no good network, it cannot be possible to have a successful industry or for industries to be set there. So now what am I trying to say here? My point here where I say the presence of good network, I'm giving of good network such as the roads, all right? Where there is a good network of roads, there is good communication. And this one also includes the railway system, because if there is a good network of both the roads and the railway system, or transport if you may like, then it is very possible for communication to be good. Are you with me? Now, what am I trying to say here? This could be local. Are you with me? It could also be national as well as international. So I will write my third point here. Okay? So we shall say presence, okay? Presence of good network. Okay? Presence of good network of roads, including railway. Or railways. This can be, all right, local, can also be national, and international. Are you with me? International. Please follow me so you understand better and benefit more. All right. Having looked at factor number 3, we move on to factor number 4. Now, when I say international, we are talking about links here or connections. Let me finish my sentence properly. Links or connections. Please follow the lesson properly. Now, point number 4 here, we are going to talk about what the government has to do, or the role played by the government to ensure that industries, especially the one we are looking at, precisely manufacturing industries. So now, what does the government have to do here? The government should intervene, okay? So the government intervention, including policy on the manufacturing industries. Now, when we say policy on the manufacturing industries, we are trying to say as the industries are being installed here or established or maybe made up, the government must have a say on how these industries must be run. Okay? If the government policy does not get affected or is not implemented, then these industries cannot run very well. So there is a need of the government of the day in each nation. For example, here in our country, Zambia. So all those industries which are called manufacturing industries and other industries available here, they should follow government's policy. So government policy which includes, intervention which includes the policy. So, government intervention. Government intervention. Government intervention. Government intervention, including policy. Let me write properly. Government intervention, including come this side, policy on manufacturing industries. Manufacturing industries. Okay. This was point number 4. We move on to point number 5. We should also look at another factor which is very cardinal in here. This is the access to capital. You see, for any industry to be well established, there should be enough or sufficient funds which we call capital, for which to start that industry with. Are you with me? So the provision of loans to these industries called manufacturing industries must be there. Are we together? So this is our number 5 point, okay, or factor. Access, all right? Access to capital. Access to capital. So EG means example given. Okay? Provision of loans. Provision of loans to manufacturing industries. I hope and trust we are following each other. Manufacturing industries. Okay? Okay. So I've said there should be access to loans where we say provision, access to capital, where I've said, for example, there should be provision of loans to these manufacturing industries in order for them to manage the affairs of all what is required there. In short, for the industries to be run smoothly, or to run smoothly. We go to point number 6. There also should be another factor which is very cardinal here, the labor. Don't forget about the labor. You know, labor could be provided both human as well as using the machine. Now, here, I will generally speak about the labor so you understand. Now, when we talk about labor, we are talking about it's mobile here. The workers, for example, who should carry out the duties, who should work in those industries, who should provide services to the industries. That's what I mean there. So that's what I meant by saying it could be either human labor or using the machine to do the work. Okay? So this will become number 6, point number 6. Availability of labor. Though it's mobile. Though labor is mobile, are you with me? We find that maybe those who are working here, you can also use them there. Even the machine, if you are using the machinery in terms of executing duties, you can take it to another place where you can also use it for doing the same things or other things. That's what we mean by mobile. It's not stationary in terms of labor. The same people here in Lusaka, they can do the work in Copper Belt, they can do it in other provinces of this country, Zambia. That's what we are referring to. So this point, you have to be very careful. We're talking about duties here or services provided. Then we move on to another part. There is another factor which should not be forgotten about. Remember, for any machinery, or rather for any company or any manufacturing industry to run, there should be power. Are you with me? If power is not available, I am telling you the machines or the works of those companies cannot be done smoothly. So now, here, what am I trying to say? To be more precise, let's center our focus on the power which Zambia has as a nation so that it becomes easier for everyone to understand. Let's talk about the HEP, the hydroelectric power generation. There should be availability of this power in these manufacturing industries for them to run smoothly. The other type of power that I can talk about is the thermal power, maybe power plants. They should provide power to run the machines and other things for the manufacturing industries to carry out their works without problems. Okay, let me write it. So, provision, or should I just say availability? All right, I'm happy it is able to write availability. I'm writing in big fonts so you can see availability of power. Okay, availability of power, especially there are a lot of power in terms of types of power, but especially this. And thermal. Are you with me? Okay. There are a lot and many more. So the examples I've given are just two. Okay. Having looked at this, we're going to talk about the distribution of industries. Here, I'll just talk about a few things for today because I want everyone to understand all these factors so that the next time we meet, we shall talk about the types of minerals. If we now center our focus on mining as a specific kind of industry, these are general terms, the factors affecting the location of industries. Because where these are missing, it is, I can say, practically impossible for the establishment of industries, especially the manufacturing industries, to be made. So distribution of industries. Distribution of industries. Okay. Number one, most industries are located on the Copper Belt province. For example, we have got the oil refining, we have got the copper extraction, the explosive and manufacturing there. So I'll give you just this for the first one. So I'll say most industries are located on the Copper Belt province. Okay, on the Copper Belt province. This one still stands. Haven't yet reached here in terms of erasing. E.g., on the Copper Belt province, e.g., oil refining, copper extraction, okay. We also have explosive manufacturing and many more. These are just examples. Explosive manufacturing. Okay. So this was the first. I'll put another star for the last one. Then Lusaka province only has the brewing or the meat processing. We've got grain milling, and also Kafue has the net. Then in provincial centers, we've got examples given. Kasama, there is coffee. Then Solwezi, we have got milling. All right? So Lusaka has, okay? Lusaka has brewing, and slashing, meat processing, then we have another one, grain milling. This is for Lusaka. We go to Kafue. There is Kafue, there is net. You know, fishing is also done there. Kafue, there is net. Okay? These are the industries. And last but not the least, we've got Solwezi, where there is milling. So, I hope and trust you people are following me. So we can just say provincial capitals or provincial centers. Last part here, I'll say provincial. Provincial centers. Provincial centers. Okay. Kasama. Has coffee. Okay. There is Ingoli and Kateshi. Coffee plantations then. Solwezi has milling. Solwezi, there is milling. Okay. So, this has been your presenter, Teacher Cheo Webster. Till next time, God bless you and enjoy the rest of the programs for today. Bye-bye.
And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
Good afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
Good afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
We'll look at our geographic expression.
Good afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
We'll look at our geographic expression.
Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon, learners. My name is Cesar Pius, your mathematics teacher. Okay, so we are still looking at the topic which we started, which is equations and inequations. Okay, and in the first lesson, we looked at how we can make one variable the subject of the formula, and in the second lesson, we looked at linear equations. Now, in the second lesson, which was for last week, I gave you some questions as homework. Okay, so let's just look at the answers for the questions which I gave you. Okay, so the first question, we said 2b plus 3 is equal to 2, then minus 3 multiplied by b plus 3. Okay, so here the variable which we are calculating is b, so the answer is b is equal to negative 2. b is equal to negative 2. Then the second one is 3x minus, or 3x is equal to 21. So here the variable is x, and in this equation x is equal to 7. Okay, then the third question is 2y minus 7 is equal to 19. Okay, so the variable here is y, so in this equation y is equal to 13. The fourth one is 2 multiplied by a plus 2, then plus 10 is equal to 12. So the variable in this question is a, so calculating the value of a is equal to negative 1. Then the fifth one is 2 plus y is equal to 7. So here the variable is y, and in this equation y is equal to 5. Okay, so for the questions which I gave you, so the first one, b is equal to negative 2, then the is equal to negative 1, and the fifth one, y is equal to 5. Okay, so we are just going to move on looking at linear equations. Now we are going to be dealing with linear equations that involves the fractions. Linear equations that involve fractions. So let's look at some of the examples on how we can deal with linear equations that involves the fractions. Okay, so for this, so find the value of x. So we are going to look at 4 questions. So for this we have x over 2 plus 2x over 5 is equal to 9. Then 2 x minus 2 over 7 is equal to x plus 2 over 9. Then the third question, as 2 over 1 plus x is equal to 3 over x. Then the fourth one is x minus 5 over 3 minus x minus 4 over 5. So this is plus, okay, is equal to 9 minus x over 2. Okay, so these are the questions which we are going to look at as examples. So when you look at these questions, so the first one is x over 2 plus 2x over 5. So these are fractions. Okay, so for these fractions, so what we are going to do is we should learn on how we can solve this, the simplest method to use. So let's start with the question 1. So the question 1 is find the value of x in x over 2, then plus 2x over 5, then you say is equal to 9. Okay, now when dealing with such kind of questions, the first thing is you have to look for the lowest common multiple. Lowest common multiple. So for the lowest common multiple, you first consider, you look at the denominators which you have. So for this, you look at this part, so you have x over 2. So x here is the numerator and 2 is the denominator. So you look at these two which you have, and you look at the second one, you have 2x over 5. So 5 is the denominator and 2 is the denominator. Okay, so look for the lowest common multiple of 2 and 5. Now for the lowest common multiple, the simplest method or the simplest way on how you can get the lowest common multiple is just to multiply the two numbers which you have. So you have 2 and you have 5. You just multiply the two. So 2 times 5 giving you 10. So 10 is the lowest common multiple for these numbers. So you just say, you first deal with this part. Okay, so look for the lowest common multiple which is 10. So you say over 10. Okay, now you say 2 goes into 10 how many times? It goes 5 times. So the 5 you multiply with the numerator which you have. So 5 times x will give you 5x. Okay, then here you have a plus sign. So you look at this denominator which you have. 5 will go into 10 how many times? 2 times. So 2 multiplied by the numerator which you have, which is 2x. So you say 2 multiplied by 2x. Then you say you equate to this side you have 9. Okay, now you can multiply and add where possible. So this will be 5x, then plus. So 2 times 2x will give you 4x. Okay, then the denominator here is 10. Then you say is equal to 9. Okay, so at this stage you can add the numerator. So you have 5x plus 4x, which will give you 9x. Then the denominator is 10. So you say is equal to 9. Okay, now at this stage, what you have to do is just to cross multiply. And you have this 9, so this 9 can be in form of 9 over 1. Okay, so at this stage now you can cross multiply. So meaning that this 9x will be multiplied by this 1. So you say cross multiply like this. So 9x times 1, which will be 9x times 1. And this, the other side you have a 9 times 10. Okay, so at this stage now you can multiply these the two. 9x times 1 will give you 9x. And this side, you have 9 times 10 giving you 90. Okay, so you now have 9x is equal to 90. So you can just divide both sides by 9. So 9 divided by 9. So this side you just remain with the x, and 90 divided by 9, it will give you 10. So meaning that our x is equal to 10. Okay, so we are saying that our x here is 10. So in this question, the value of x is 10. So you can prove this when you say you have x over 2. So this is 10 over 2, then plus 2x. So meaning 2 times 10 over 5. So this should give you 9, so that the left hand side should be equal to the right hand side. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, then this will give you 20. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So you see that 5 plus 4 will give you 9, which is equal to this 9 which we have. So 9 is equal to 9. So the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So the value of x in question 1 is 10. Okay, so this is what you should do when calculating the value of x when you have a linear equation which involves fractions. So first look for the lowest common multiple. Now on how to get the lowest common multiple, you just look at the numbers which you have. You just multiply the two numbers. So in question 1 we have 2 and 5. So the lowest common multiple is just to get the product of 2 and 5. So 2 times 5 is 10. So the lowest common multiple is 10. Okay, let's go to question 2. Question 2, we have x minus 2 over 7 is equal to x plus 2 over 9. So question 2, we are saying x minus 2 over 7 is equal to x plus 2 over 9. Okay, when you look at this question, we are saying that this side, which is the left hand side, is equal to this side. Okay, now for this side you have x minus 2 over 7, and the other side you have x plus 2 over 9. So here we should get the value of x. Okay, so for the value of x which we should find, if we say the value of x is 5, meaning that when we replace x with 5, this side, the answer, the final answer should be equal to the right hand side. So replacing x with 5, and this side, if you say we replace x with 5, we should get the same answer. So if this side we are going to get 2, meaning that even the right hand side we should get 2. Now what we are going to do on this one, we'll just cross multiply. So x minus 2 over 7 is equal to x plus 2 over 9. Okay, so like I said, we cross multiply. So at this stage we are saying that this x minus 2 will be multiplied by 9, and this 7 will be multiplied by this, we have x plus 2. So we'll say 9, then we'll multiply this. So we'll say 9 multiplied by x minus 2, and the other side you have 7 multiplied by x, then plus 2. Okay, so meaning that we should multiply this 9 by x, and then a 9 with this 2. So 9 times x will have 9x. Then 9 times 2. So you look at the sign which you have. So here we have the sign which is a negative. So we'll say 9 times negative 2 will give us negative 18. Okay, then we'll say is equal to this side we have 7 multiplied by x, we have 7x, and then 7 multiplied by 2. So look at the sign. So this is a positive sign. So meaning that 7 multiplied by positive 2 will give us positive 14. Okay. Now at this stage you have 9 with the variable x, and this side you have 7 with the variable x, and you have these constants. So you should just collect the like terms. So meaning that this 7 should be to the side together with the 9x. So what you should do is you say 9x, okay, then you have 7x, then here you have the equal sign. So when 7x crosses the equal sign and go the other side, it will change its sign. So this side it is a positive, so it will be a negative. So we'll say 9 minus 7x. Okay, so this is equal to, so here you are remaining with the 14, and now here you have negative 18, and this negative 18, when it crosses the equal sign, it will be positive. So this side it will be positive 18. So 9x minus 7x, it will give you 2x, and this side you have 14 plus 18. So when you add the 2, you should get 32. Okay. Now at this stage you have 2x is equal to 32. So the simplest method, you just say you divide by 2, and this side you divide by 2. So you should divide with the coefficient which you have, so that you leave the x alone. So 2 divided by 2, you remain with just this side, you have x, and this the other side you have 32 divided by 2, giving you 16. So the value of x in this question is 16. So you can prove this. So when you look at the left hand side, so the left hand side, so replacing x, so the left hand side you have x minus 2 over 7. Okay, x minus 2 over 7. So let's say we replace x with the 7, x with the 16. So we'll say 16 minus 2 over 7. So 16 minus 2, that is 14. Okay, then over 7, which will give us 2. So the left hand side, so we have 2. Let's look at the right hand side. So right hand side you have x plus 2 over 9. Okay, so the value of x, remember, is 16. So we say 16 plus 2 over 9. So adding 16 and 2, you have 18. Then the denominator is 9. So 18 divided by 9, the value is 2. Okay, so right hand side, we are saying that we have 2. So well, look at this, you have left hand side, the value is 2, and the right hand side, the value is 2. So meaning that the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So we have proved that x is equal to 16 in this question which we have. Okay, let's move on and look at the third question. Okay, so the third question, what we have is question 3. We have 2 over 1 plus x, okay, is equal to 3 over x. Okay, so like we did for question 2, we should do the same on this one. So what we have is this side you have 2 over 1 plus x, and the other side you have 3 over x. So we should just cross multiply. So that is the first step. So 2 over 1 plus x is equal to 3 over x. Okay, so cross multiply. So we say 2 multiplied by x, and this 3 you have to multiply 1 plus x. Okay, so what you are going to have is 2 multiplied by x, so you say 2 then x. Okay, then the other side we have 3, so this 1 plus x, you have to multiply this by 3, so you say 3 multiplied by 1 plus x, like this. Okay, so at this stage now you should multiply where possible and add where possible. So you have 2x this side, then you say is equal to 3 multiplied by 1 will give you a 3, then 3 multiplied by x, so you say we are going to have 3x. Okay, so we are going to have 3x. Okay, now at this stage you have this 2 with the variable x, and the other side you have 3x, so you collect the like terms. So this will be 2x and minus 3x is equal to, so this side you are just going to remain with 3, so this will be just 3. Okay, then you have 2x minus 3x, so this will give you negative 1x, so this is negative 1x is equal to 3. Okay, so each time you are calculating the value of x, the x should be always be a positive, should have a positive sign. So in a situation where like this our situation, we have x which is a negative, so we have negative x, so we should ensure that this x becomes a positive. So what we are going to do is we are just going to divide by a negative 1, since the coefficient here is 1, so we are just going to divide by negative 1, and the other side we divide by a negative 1. So this side negative 1 divided by negative 1 will just remain with a positive x, and 3 divided by negative 1 will give us negative 3. So the value of x is negative 3. So okay, let's try to see if at all the value of x, which is we have found as negative 3, if at all is correct. So let's start with the left hand side. So the left hand side we have 2 over 1 plus x. Okay, remember the value of x we have found as negative 3, so we just replace where there is x, we put in negative 3, so this will be 2 over 1. So since x is a negative, so we have negative 3, so we just say a plus then minus 3. Okay, so positive times negative, so it will give you a negative, so we'll say 2 over 1 minus 3. So 1 minus 3, that is a negative 2, so this will be 2 over negative 2, giving you negative 1. Okay, so the left hand side we have negative 1. What about the right hand side? Right hand side we have 3 over x. Remember x is equal to negative 3, so this is 3 over negative 3. So 3 divided by negative 3, that is, it will give you negative 1. So if right hand side is equal to the left hand side. So since the left hand side we have negative 1 and the right hand side, the answer here is negative 1. So we have proved that in this question 3, the value of x is negative 3. The value of x is negative 3. Okay, now let's look at the last question, which is question 4. Okay, so in question 4, this question is a bit involving, but we'll just try to be fast and work out together. Okay, so we have 2, we have x minus 5 over, we have 3 as denominator, then minus x plus 4 over 5 is equal to 9 minus x. So this is 9 minus x over 2. Okay, so this question, what we'll do is we'll first deal with the left hand side. Then after dealing with the left hand side, that's when we are going to include the right hand side. So like we did for the first question, you look at the denominators which you have. So the denominator which you have for this one, you have 3, and for this you have 5. So you look for the lowest common multiple, and for the lowest common multiple you should just multiply the two numbers. So you have 3 and you have 5, so get the product. So 3 times 5, that is 15. So the lowest common multiple of 3 and 5 is 15. So we just say over 15. Okay, now the first part, you have x minus 5 over 3. Okay, now since you have found the lowest common multiple as 15, look at the denominator which you have 3. So how many times can 3 go into 15? It will go into 15 5 times. So you say 5 multiply negative, which is a minus, so minus, then 5 will go into 15 how many times? It will go into 15 3 times. So here you have 3. So 3 multiplied by the numerator which you have x, then plus 4. Okay, then at this stage, okay, now say is equal to 9 minus x over 2. Okay, so multiply where possible and also add where possible. So you have 5 being multiplied by x, so we have 5x, then 5 times, so here you have a negative sign, so meaning it is 5 times negative 5, so that is negative 25. Okay, now the other one, you have 3. Okay, now look at the sign which 3 has, so it has got a negative sign. So for you to multiply this 3 with x and 4, you should also carry the negative sign. So this is negative 3 multiplied by x, so that it will give you negative 3. So this is negative 3, then x. Okay, so we are done with the x, so we go to this positive 4. So this will be negative 3 multiplied by positive 4, that will give you a negative 12. Okay, so this over 15. So you equate 9 minus x over 2. Okay, so here we can collect like terms together. So we have 5x, so and you have this 3x, so say, so 3x, you carry the negative sign, so 3x, then here you have 25 and 12, so 25 has got a negative sign, so this is negative 25, then minus 12, then over 15, so it's equal to 9 minus x over 2. Okay, so here we can subtract and we can add where possible. So we have 5x minus 3x, we are going to have 2x, then minus 25 minus 12 will give us 27, so it will give us minus 27. Okay, so over 15, then is equal to 9 minus x over 2. Okay, now at this stage we can simply cross multiply so that we get the value of x. So we'll say 2x minus 27 over 15 is equal to 9 minus x over 2. So we cross multiply. What we mean is these two, we are going to multiply these two with each of, you have 2x and you have 27. So we'll say 2 times 2x, then 2 times 27. So we'll do the same even for 15. Okay, let me just erase this part. Okay, so what we have is 2x minus 27 over 15 is equal to 9 minus x over 2. So we are saying that we cross multiply. So 2 times 2 x minus 27 then is equal to 15 multiplied by 9 minus x. So it will be in this form. So 2 multiplied by 2x, that is 4x. Then 2 multiplied by 27 will give you 54. Okay, then this side you have 9 times 15. So what is 9 times 15? 9 times 15, so you have 15, then 9. So this is 5, remainder 4, so this will give you 135. So 15 times 9 will give you 135. Then you have 15 times negative x will give you minus 15x. Okay, so here we can collect the like terms. So you have 15x and you have 4x. So we say 4x, then we transfer this negative 15x, so it will be positive 15x. Then it's equal to 135. So this is a positive, so here you have a negative 54. When it crosses the equal sign, it will be positive. So this is positive 54. So this side you have 4x plus 15x, giving you 19x. Okay, then is equal to 135 plus 54. 135 plus 54, that it will give us, so you say you have 4 and 5, so it will be 9. Then 5 and this, it will be 8. Then you have so you have 135 and 54. So this is 9. Then this will give us 8, 189. So we are having a 189. Okay, so since the value is 189, so we'll just say 19x is equal to 189. So 19x is equal to 189. So we'll simply divide by 19, and the other side we divide using a 19. So 19 divided by 19, so this side will remain with the x. Okay, so we'll remain with the x, and we have 189 divided by 19. So we should get the value of 189 divided by 19. Okay, so since we have 189 divided by 19, so we should say 189 divided by 19. Okay, so 189, 19 into 189, so let's say we have x is equal to, so can 19 go into 189? Let's try by, we say, okay, so let's try to see if at all 19 can go into 189. Okay, so this one is giving us a remainder. Have we made a mistake somewhere? Let me check. Okay, here we have 2x multiplied by 2. So this is 4x. Then 2 times 27, that is 54. So this is 54. Okay, then 15 times 9. So here you have 9 times 5. That is 45. So we'll say we write 5 and remainder 4. So 9 times 1, that is 135. Okay, so here you have 135. Then 15x. So adding these two, 19x. Then this side, when you add, that is 189. Okay, so since the value is in decimal numbers, so you can say x is equal to 189 over 19. So for this, since we said that for linear equations, the value can either be a fraction, it can be also a negative number or a positive number. Okay, so since this 19 into 189, it is 9 point something. Okay, so if you want, you can say 189 divided by 19, giving you 9 point something. So you can say x is equal to 9 point something, or you can just leave the answer the way it is as 189 over 19. Okay, so we have looked at the 4 examples. So let me just end by giving you some questions so that you can work them as homework. So for the homework, you should find the value of x. So find the value of x in each of the following. Okay, so question 1, you have 4x plus 3 over 5 is equal to negative 9. Okay, then question 2, 2x minus 3 over 7 is equal to 2x plus 3 over 5. Question 3, 3 over 2x, then minus 1 over 15 is equal to 1 over x. Then the last question is x plus 3 over 2 is equal to x plus 1. Okay, so in this lesson we have been looking at how we can deal with linear equations that involves fractions. So we have said that we should be looking at the lowest common multiple of every for every number which you have. So if you have got 2 and maybe you have 5, so the lowest common multiple, you should just multiply the two numbers which you have. Okay, so that's what you should do for the lowest common multiple. So you have these 4 questions. Ensure that you deal with the questions, and you should find the value of x in each of the questions. Okay, I've been your teacher, Caesar Pius. Till we meet next, goodbye.
And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
Good afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
Good afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
Good afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
Good afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon, class. I'm Ms. Msanje and I'll take you in history, grade 9. And we are going to look at the triangular slave trade. Triangular slave trade. The triangular slave trade is also known as transatlantic. So this one is also known as the transatlantic slave trade. So it is also known as the transatlantic slave trade because it took place across the Atlantic Ocean between the 16th and 17th century. So I say it is also called Atlantic slave trade. So this trade took place across the Atlantic Ocean between the 16th and 17th century. Okay. The triangular slave trade was organized in 3 major stages. It was organized in 3 major stages and it involved 3 continents. And these continents are Europe, Africa, and also America. So I say it was organized in 3 major stages. It was organized in 3 major stages, and each stage involved a different continent. And each stage involved a different continent. Okay, so tri means three, so it involved 3 continents. So let me draw something here. So here we have Europe, phase 1. Here we have Africa. You have phase 2. Here we have America. Phase 3. Okay, so we are going to look at these stages in the triangular slave trade, the 3 stages in the triangular slave trade. So the first stage involved these 2 countries, Europe and Africa. So stage 1, Europe to Africa. Stage 1, we have Europe to Africa. Okay, what was involved in this stage? So you're saying in this trade, the first side of the triangle is the export of goods. So in the first stage here, Europe to Africa, it involved the export of goods from Europe, the goods that were manufactured in Europe, and those goods were taken to Africa in exchange for slaves. Okay, so you're saying a number of African kings and merchants took part in the trading of enslaved people from the 1440 to 1833. The African rulers and traders received goods for each slave sold. So the African rulers used to sell these the slaves to the Europeans in exchange with the goods. So some of the goods that they brought are the beads, clothes, all those are example, gunpowder, guns. They exchanged those goods with African slaves. Okay, so you are saying the exchange of such items contributed to the development of manufacturing in Europe. So the manufacturing industries in Europe developed because of these slaves that were sold. So these people from Europe, they made profit. They made profit in this trade. So the prices Europeans paid for slaves rose steadily through the years. So you are saying in this stage, the first stage, you are saying European traders sold, European traders sold. So you're saying they sold to Africa with ships, sold to Africa with ships, full of goods such as clothes, beads, guns, gunpowder, and so many other things that were manufactured in Africa. So here goods were shipped from Europe to Africa in exchange with African slaves. The second stage, which is phase 2, we have Africa to America. What was involved in the second stage? So you are saying Africa to America, the voyage from the African coast to the Americans was called the Mid Passage. So stage 2. Stage 2. So you're saying this one was called the Mid Passage. So the voyage from Africa to America was called the Mid Passage. It was called the Mid Passage, and we are told this was the most difficult voyage. It was the most difficult passages ever undertaken. So during this voyage, a lot of people died. A lot of people died, and we are saying ocean crossing would last from 25 days to 65 days. So many people involved died in the transits. Why? Because we are told that they are being packed in tight ships. They are being packed in tight ships and sanitary ones, and sanitary spaces on ships for months at a time, and the conditions on board resulted in the spread of fatal diseases. So even those people who were taken there, when they came back, they came with different diseases. Okay, so the second stage, we are saying many people died. So in the second stage, we are saying Europeans exchanged their goods for African slaves at places such as Gold Coast, which is Ghana, Slave Coast, which is Senegal, and Rain Coast, which is Nigeria. Okay, so you're saying in the second stage, we are saying Europeans exchanged their goods for African slaves at places like today Ghana, Senegal, and also Nigeria. So slaves were shipped to America. From Africa, they were shipped to America to work in plantations of such as cotton, sugar, and tobacco. Okay, so we are saying many Africans died during these voyages. Why? Because they were packed into tight and sanitary spaces on ships for months at a time. Okay, and the conditions resulted to different types of diseases. Okay, so we have the last stage, which is America, from America to Europe, from America to Europe. Stage 3. From America to Europe. So I'm saying the third and final part of the triangle is the shipping of goods to Europe from the Americans. So the shipping of goods from America to Europe. Okay, we are saying goods were the products of slave labor plantations and included cotton, sugar, and tobacco. And these raw materials were shipped from America to Europe, where they were sold to the factory owners in Europe. So the secondary and finished products from the raw materials were again shipped to West Africa to begin the trade cycle. So it was a cycle from Europe to Africa, Africa to America, America to Europe, Europe. It was the cycle. So we are saying the third and final part of the triangle is the shipping of goods to Europe, shipping of goods from America to Europe. Okay, so today we'll end here, and next time when we meet we are going to look at the end of slavery and slave trade, the abolishing of slavery and slave trade. See you next time.
And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.
Good afternoon, class. And these are examples of crops that we grow in Zambia and the livestock.
Look at our geographic expression.